Hi, my name's Matt and this is Matchbook Custom. Today we have in one of our second winter projects for this year. This is Lee's Dyna Superglide 2012. It's in for a bit of a facelift. Now Lee and Sue are amazing supporters of myself and Matchbook Custom here. So we're going to try and do something a little bit special with them, which I'll talk you through now. So as you can see, very black and chrome. It's not in bad shape, to be fair. It's a decent looking bike. Lee keeps it quite clean, keeps it quite tidy. He just fancies a bit of a facelift and a bit of colour, make it feel a little less cold and a little bit more warm, a little bit more custom. But otherwise it's clean and tidy. But when we're finished with it, it should look like something special, something completely different. Okay, so strip the back end out. I've had the shock absorbers off to get all the electrics out and the lights off without cutting myself. I've measured, drawn roughly on the template of where I think we should go. I've asked the customer what he thinks. Personally, I'd probably go for the short and scary option, but that's just me. But he'd probably get wet, and I think he rides his bike quite a lot, so I think it'd be better to add another couple of inches on the back. Or the safe option wouldn't be bad, which is this line kind of round here. I just think it'd be a bit, how do I put it, cooler looking with a really chopped fender. So I'm going to go for a coffee and then wait for the customer to let me know what he thinks. Okay, so the customer, after looking at the pictures, has chosen the probably about right but still scary mark. So this kind of line here. So what we're first going to do is cut off these struts, both sides, and then we're going to cut some straight lines straight across and straight down this side, so this bit just falls off the back. Once that's off, then I can start shaping it and making it look half decent. So back end's all chopped. I might need to shape it and tweak it ever so slightly. I've mounted up the turn signals. This is pretty even as damn it. All looking good, I think. To be fair, that gap will close up slightly once the suspension's settled. Maybe an idea to think about getting lowered suspension in the future. But all in all, I love that whole shape and look of it. Once the paintwork's done, it'll look wicked. Okay, so it's the next morning. It's absolutely freezing, hence the hat and the jumper. The back end's now chopped, mounted up, ready to be disassembled. So this morning we're going to take off the rear fender, strip out the tank in the console because that's going to go get powder coated, strip out the controls, and get the bike ready to put on a jack outside, ready to strip the forks out. So here goes. Okay, so tank is stripped, back end stripped, got as much off as the handlebars and the headlight as I can. Now time to jack it up on that and strap it there because I've got to get the forks and the triple tree out, ready for 3 or 4 weeks worth of powder coating.
Okay, it's been about a month since we sent off Lee's parts for powder coat and paint. I've got most of it back, including the paint work and all the powder coat. I'm just waiting on a load of parts to come in to finish the job, but today we're going to focus on getting the bike together as much as possible, mainly the back end. The front end, as you can see, is together, but only loosely because I need to get it off my jack. But we'll wait until I've got all the parts. I'm waiting for turn signals, shrouds, oils and various other bits. Today we're focusing on getting this tidied up and all this lovely olive gold paintwork mounted as much as possible. Okay, it's been a few days since the last clip. Since then I've got the fender on, turn signals, some wiring through the bars and some little bits and bobs to get the bike going. We've got a bunch of the parts that we've ordered to enhance the bike. The paintwork's back, the powder coat's back. We're still waiting on parts that are on back order with Harley. Lee's also decided to change the shock absorbers, which will lower the back end slightly, which should tidy that little gap up a little bit, although I actually really like it. I think it looks badass, but we'll see him play around with that. So the mission today is to get all these parts on, get the wiring done, and get it looking more like a bike, ready for the rest of it. It'll be 2 or 3 weeks, so we'll be working from the back forwards. So keep watching. Okay, so my GoPro camera ran out of battery, so it's been on charge. In that time I have fitted the new mirrors, Thunderbike turn signals, fork covers, fender, wheel, brakes, and all the handlebar switches, etc, etc. Next move is to get the tank on, the seat on, tank panel, and then we're about there, to be fair. Okay, so I'm about done today. Got the lights on. As you can see, the Thunderbike LEDs are working nicely. Got the fork covers on, got the fender, excuse me, fender on, tank panel, seat, rear fender. You can see the Kellerman rears are pretty bright. I think I've wired everything up correctly. I'm going to check that in a sec. What we're waiting for. Flush mount gauges from Harley, heavy breather, Screaming Eagle heavy breather from Harley, the forward facing one. I've got a 7-inch headlamp to put on there, but we need the shell and trim ring powder coating, so we're just waiting for all that to be done. Plus a bit of trim on the battery cover and a bit of trim on the fuse box cover. But getting there, all looking G. I'm happy with it. Okay, it's been a few weeks since the last clip. We've put a few extra bits on, but we're still waiting for some parts from Harley Davidson, namely the heavy breather and rear axle covers. We have, however, put the 7-inch headlamp on with the LED light, the tank badges, flush mount gauges, and a few little bits. We need to put on the rear suspension today, along with some new grips, pegs, shifter peg, which are these, all available through Matchbook Custom. So what we're going to do, because the back order parts are taking so long, we are going to put all the rest of the bits on that I can do. And because Lee's wife, Sue, is after some work as well, we're going to put it all together, swap the bikes over, and when the Harley parts are in stock, we'll stick them on. Harley are having a problem apparently with a computer system, either over in the States or over in Europe, with regards to how their parts systems work, which is causing a mega problem according to all my sources. Okay, so we're now all done. We've got new pegs, new grips, which I think look great, and new rear shock absorbers. So the bike is all done pending road test.
Hopefully he's happy with it. Thanks for watching.